In the 1730s, just under 300 years ago, the age of revival began in Wales. Under the leadership of such men as Daniel Rowlands and Howell Harris and William Williams Pantycelyn, waves of religious revival hit the nation. 100 years later, historians estimate that between 1801 and 1851, a chapel was being built every 8 days in Wales for 50 years running. From rural areas to the rapidly developing urban areas of the Industrial Revolution, there the church went, seeking to build in strength with an expansive evangelical mission to see the lost saved, to see Jesus glorified, and to see society transformed as a result. By the second half of the 19th century, it's estimated that at least 3/4 of the Welsh population were in church on a Sunday every single week. In our own town, in Llanelli, chapel buildings were constructed to hold huge congregations with thousands attending every week. At the heart of Welsh community was the church, shaping every sphere of influence all around it. Today, things look very different. The Welsh church faced decline. The tide of faith ran out, leaving many a chapel stranded in ruins or just clinging on, where the remnant have remained, keeping the flame alive. But it's fair to say that it seems like we have gone from revival to ruin.
Dwi'n cofio gweld y capel yn orlawn, llawn i gyd, a seddau yn cael ei dodi yn yr ale bob ochr, a bobl yn eistedd ar y seddau. O'n cofio yna, ddarwn ni bwydi 5 mlwydd oed. Odw.
Beth oedd yr ysgol Sul fel?
Oedd yn y capel a'r festri, o dosbarthiadau Lanlofft yn y capel a'r 2 neu 3 lawr llawr, a wnawn ni y festri llawn plant a athrawon, gwahanol dosbarthiadau bach, oedd yn llun o'r lawn.
A oedd hwn yn rhywbeth oedd yn just digwydd bob dydd Sul?
Bob wythnos, bob dydd Sul. Rhywbeth.
Beth amdano pan o'ch chi'n mynd fel dyrbydyddwyr yn cael gymanfagani yn Zion?
O, iawn. Moria neu Zion byddai gymanfagani, unwaith y flwyddyn. Oedd y paratoadau yn cael ei wneud yn bob capel yn barod, gyda'r tonau a pethau fel yna. Ond oedd y lle yn orlawn. Gallai fai weid wrth y tir, ond nhw ffili cael set eistedd lawr. Ie, a byddai bobl yn... Ti'n bod y stirau Milan i'r llofft, bydde bobl lawr, mae'n na gyd o ffordd yn sefyll lan, oedd jam-packed, a rai mas yn y lobby, a tu fas y drws, a na fel oedd hi.
Beth oedd y capacity o Zion?
O Zion? O, credu o Zion, just yn dal bron 1,000. Bron 1,000 o bobl.
Dros 1,000 os oedd pobl yn y lobby?
O, wel, siwr o fod. Ie, siwr o fod, ie.
Beth bydde ti'n gweud, ffaint oedd yn mynd i capel yn Llanelli a dydd Sul, rhwngddyn nhw gyd, bydde ti'n gweud?
Rhwngddyn nhw gyd?
Ie.
15,000?
Ie. Miloedd?
Miloedd, ie, iawn. Roedd yn amser hapus dros ben. A canu bendigedig. Rhyfeddol, pob oedran, plant bach.
Ges ti'n magu yn Bethania?
O, do, hollol, magu yn Bethania, do.
A wedyn nes ti cario ymlaen mynd a nawr ydych ti'n diacon?
O, dwi'n diacon as... hanner canfynedd.
A ti still yn diacon?
O, do. Os na tŵlen nhw fi mas.
Pan oedd y cypeirin llawn, beth oedd e fel yn Llanelli gyda trosedd a beth oedd
Oedd dim llawer o troseddi yn mynd mlaen. Na. Oedd lawer fwy o heddwch nag sydd wedi bod oddi ar hynny. Oedd e heddwch. Ysbryd hapus rhwng bob oedran. Mwy diogel I fyw yn y dyddiau ni. Naw, wedi ni.
I gymaru llinellu heddi,
Ie.
beth bydde ti'n gweud oedd wedi mynd am
Wel,
wath?
wath na oedd e. Bendant. Definitely, iawn.
A beth bydde ti'n gweud yw gobeith ti am dyfodol yr Eglwys yn Cymru?
Wel, o'n credu bydd e'n cynyddu. Bydd e'n gwella. O'n credu hynny. Iawn.
Fel rhywun sydd wedi bod yn ffyddon yn y capel am dy fywyd ti, beth bydde ti'n gweud i'r cenhedlaeth newydd o Gristnogion yn Cymru? Beth bydde ti'n gweld advice ti nhw?
I hoffi canu fwy. Mae hwnna'n ei chi mwy hapus. Fwy o canu. Ac oedd y canu blynydde nôl yn rygwrol. Oedd ti'n crynu hynny beth e. Oedd clywed y canu. Dwi ddim ffyrna nawr te. Ti'n bod, falle'n ambell I gapel. A oedd ddim yn gwybod fel mae fe yn yr eglwysi nawr, y church, a gallai nhw dweud. Bydden ni'n gobeithio, bydden nhw yn sylwi ac yn ymateb i'r cariad sydd gyda rhai henach nawr I nhw. I ni'n caru y ieuenctid o bob oedran. Ni'n caru nhw gyd. Bendant. Na fel mae mwyaf o bobl y capeli ar y eglwysi nawr. Dwi ddim wedi bod yn bregethwr da o gwbl, wedi bod yn siarad ys blynydde, ond dwi ddim yn hoffi siarad byd I uffern ar lle fi yna. Mae uffern I gael, bown o fod, ti'n bod. Emphasis on love. Bendant, cariad Iesu, hwnna sy'n mwyaf pwysig peth ar y ddwyar. A mae'n mynd trwy bob oedran, plant, ieuenctid, canol oed a hen, cariad Iesu yn dod â heddwch a tangnefedd I bawb.
But this is no new situation for the people of God. We read in the Old Testament how the nation of Israel went from the heights of revival and plunged into ruin, despair, and exile to Babylon. But God hadn't finished with them. He called them home and He gave them a new mission to rebuild the ancient ruins, to restore places long devastated, to renew the ruined cities. And I believe that's a word of this church, that we are to be a people who rebuild and restore and renew wherever we go. Saron Chapel was built as a smaller village church towards the end of the age of revival. Its congregation was faithful, but the numbers dwindled, and eventually, in the early 1990s, the chapel closed. An offer was put in to buy it and turn it into an auction house. But that was not to be the destiny of this little church. Saron, the runt of the litter, was rescued and revived and became a church once again. But there was work to be done.
My name's Gerwin.
My name's Alison, and we've been married, well, be 30 years now in September, and we've been with the church from the very, very, very beginning, and, well, we're still here, still going on, still together.
You've been there from Connecticut Christian Fellowship,
Yeah.
Barnabas Hall, moving into Samuel, 21st century church today. What's your memories of the move from Barnabas Hall to Saron originally. And what did that project entail? Why did you want to be a part of it?
Oh, good grief.
Chapter around that.
It entailed huge change. St Barnabas Hall was great. It was just a place to meet. But it wasn't ours, and we couldn't do anything that we thought, if we wanted to lay an event on or something like that, then obviously you've got to have permission, you've got to hire it and see if it's free or whatever. And we didn't have the freedom to do what we wanted, what we felt was right. But it suited our purpose, it was somewhere to meet. Saron came on the market, and I remember going to see it, and we went in, and it was a bit, to say dilapidated was a bit of an understatement. And I think after we went in, it was a bit more dilapidated, especially with the youth meeting as it was. We didn't have to worry about, don't mark the walls, don't scrape the paint and all the rest of it. We didn't have to worry about that because in one respect, if you did mark the wall, it would add to the character. But yes, we suddenly realised, I walked in one evening, I think it was a Tuesday night, from the vestry into the church, and then I thought, it's unusually cold in here tonight. It was just cold anyway because we had no heating. And I thought, it was a draft as well. So I looked up and thought, I don't remember painting stars on the ceiling. And they weren't stars on the ceiling, they were the actual stars. A huge part of the roof had caved in and we could see the sky. So it was in that bad a state.
Yeah.
And then one Christmas, after the rats had eaten all the chocolates, we thought, right, this is it. We got to move out. And the decision was taken then to refurbish it completely from top to bottom, to front to back. And we did a huge restoration there, which, looking back at it, we must have been mad. I don't know how we did it physically, but it wasn't by our strength, it was by God's strength and by his design and his guidance. But it did cost, not just financially, it cost in time and effort, blood, sweat and tears, all of them. It's a place that we can call our own, and it's a base for God's body to work out from. And it's a place where we can now call home, and we can reach out to the community, and other people can call home as well.
At the time of the renovation getaway, how many were on staff in church at the time?
Let me think now. None?
How was it funded?
Us? We had one grant off the county council, and I think we had another small £1,000 grant or something like that. But the 90, I'd say about 90-odd% of it, 95% of it was us. Yeah, through people.
Thinking, oh my gosh, how were we going to do this? Not thinking that God would be so amazing to get us through it and develop what has been developed there. The rats, the cold, people coming to services with hot water bottles, and holes in the ceiling, paint falling, plaster falling, and faith, a lot of faith and a lot of hard work, as Gerwyn said, for it to be, for Geraint having the vision and people getting behind him, believing and having the faith to toil and to carry on. Over the years, those years were hard, they were tough. And to see children that were born at that time now rising up and taking their places in the church is amazing, absolutely amazing.
Hiya, my name's Aled. I'm the kids pastor here at 21st Century Church. I'm 19 years old. I'm ginger. I don't know what else to say, really. I was born and raised in a Christian family, so church was kind of the norm for me. I've been coming all my life, every Sunday. Had to miss rugby, started playing football instead. And I loved it. I loved kids' church, I loved kids' club. I loved it when our church came into my school and did assemblies and did clubs and all the other kind of stuff, and I really enjoyed it. And then at about 12 years old, when I was in secondary school, I started to try and find life out for myself, discover my own way of doing things, discover what I enjoyed, and I kind of probably drifted away a bit from church, and I still went, but I didn't really enjoy going. I didn't really want to go, but I still went to keep the appearance up. But at about 14 years old, I just decided that I wanted to start coming back, and I wanted to start living for God, living for Jesus the way that it's meant to be. And I think a big part of that was what was instilled into me as a kid during the kids' clubs and doing the kids' church, that God loved me, that God had a plan for me from a young age. And I think all those kind of things just helped keep me kind of on track even when I didn't want to be. My experience in kids' church has kind of shaped how my vision for kids' church is set out. My experience of how fun kids' church was, and how much I enjoyed kids' club, and how great it was to have the church guys come into school, has kind of shaped how I have my vision set out for it, and how we want to kind of work things. We want to make it a fun place. We want to make it somewhere that kids are just so unashamed of, that they want to bring their friends along, that they want to spend time there. We want learning about God to be something to be enjoyed, not endured. As well, we want to make it a safe place. We want parents to know that when they bring their kids to something that we put our name to, that their kids are in safe hands, that they're in trustworthy hands, that they know they're going to be looked after well. And we also want to just make it, most importantly, a place where God is at the centre of everything we do, that we love as God would love our kids, that we see our kids the way that God sees them, that we don't see them as just another burden, but that we see them for the potential that they have, that we see them for what they can bring. And that's important in the role of the church. It's important for the church that we build up the young generation and that we empower them to step into what God has called them to do, because the church, any church that wants to thrive across more than one generation, needs to bring up younger people through the church. And that's what we aim to do in kids' churches, to empower and encourage young people to step into what God has called for them, and to step into the roles that we one day won't be able to do.
But the story isn't over. In fact, it's only just begun. For Saron campus, there is definitely more. We are called 21st century church, and that means we need to be a church that is fit for the 21st century. It means a constant renewal, a constant restoration, a constant drive to rebuild, to increase our capacity, to be the church that God wants us to be in this moment. There is more to do, more to reach, more to come from Saron. But we also have another ruin in need of rebuilding and restoring and renewing. Siloa Chapel, unlike Saron, was not just a small village chapel. It was a significant church in the town, an 800-seater in its day. And over Siloa, the story is not yet over. There is more to come. It will be a church, once again, that serves its community and sees Jesus glorified.
So I'm Perry.
And I'm Debbie.
And we are the Sophisters. Perry and Debbie's office. Well, let's be serious now. We came originally from the Hillsong Church in London, and obviously, you know, the music's amazing, and we wanted to find a church that was similar. So it was quite funny, because within the third week that we were here, which I've never done in my life before, is Debbie said, why don't we do a car boot sale? And I was all up for that, because
we had like about 8 black plastic bags of stuff we just couldn't fit in the cupboards. So the only way we were going to offload it was by doing a car boot sale. So first time ever.
And Debbie's dad, bless his soul, he's not with us anymore, but I always remember him always telling me, you've got to do a car boot sale. So that was in my heart, and I thought, I've got to go with this car boot sale. It's got to be done. I'm doing it for Debbie's dad. Never mind the 9 black flags that we had, which was also something. Why not make some money and have some fun on the side? So we went down and we set up our little the car, got it all out, put it at a table in Burryport. So we went there, and right next to us was a guy, and we started speaking to him, and then the one thing led to the next thing, and I said, well, why are you here? He goes, well, I'm selling all my stuff because I'm going to America. And one question led to the next, and the next thing is like, are you a Christian? And I said, yes, I am. Are you a Christian? Yes, I am. And then I said, you wouldn't happen to know where there's an awesome church that we can go to where there's good music and a good vibe? And he said, you know what? There are a few good churches. In fact, my dad's starting one, but I know of the church I think that might be good for you.
Well, we said to come from Hillsong as well, so that kind of immediately alerted him which church would be the suitable one.
Yeah, and he mentioned 21st Century Church, so we said, all right, cool, we'll go check it out. And I can't remember, I don't know if that was the next week we probably would have gone, but we then went the next week, and we walked into 21st Century Church, and the first service, the music was awesome. Listening to Seb sing.
Yeah, the singing was off the charts. We were like, my word, this guy's got this stunning voice.
So we loved it. so we loved it, and then actually it was the free coffee they gave us. I think that sold it, to be fair. Don't tell anyone, but I think it was the free coffee. We got to tell them, man, it was the free coffee. It's got nothing to do with church. It was that free coffee that it was amazing, and I wanted that same coffee all the time. No, seriously, the music was awesome, and the rest is history in that respect.
So in all that kind of decision making and whatever, of looking for a church, how did the kids play into that kind of decision?
Yeah, well, I mean, as a parent and all parents out there, and those who maybe one day will become parents, kids is absolutely, we think about them in everything that we do. So that was a massive decision for us. We wanted to find a church where we could, at least take them to the kids' church, but to learn, grow, and be at their level of maturity, because I fully understand a kid in an adult's church side, they're just not going to grow. It's going to upset everyone, and spiritually it also doesn't help with our growth. So we were very much so looking for a place where we could, take them where they would learn and grow and do their bits and have fun. That's the important thing. They can sing, dance, learn about the Bible and who God is and Jesus, and that was very important to both of us, that's for sure.
We just found that with 21st Century Church, it was just so much better. They immediately ushered the kids off, put them into play, made sure they were happy, they were jumping around and having loads of fun. And then immediately we could walk away and go, okay, the kids are happy. And when the kids are happy, the parents are happy.
Absolutely.
So that was like a big thing for us, that we were actually able to sit down and relax, and we knew that everything was taken care of, and that we didn't have to actually worry about them. And then after the service each time, we knew that they were learning something, because they came out with little things that they'd done, and they'd told us little stories, and they'd done memory verses, and we were like, wow, I think you officially know more than I do.
Well, I think they actually do, because they remember all the songs, and I thought that's an awesome way of learning. So they used to teach us the songs after church, and we used to sing the songs or whatever the verse was. Don't ask me to sing one right now, but
strong, courageous.
Come on. But yeah, for us, massively a big decision. One John, that's it. That's the one. Okay, Davey's going for it. Come on, Davey, one John.
And when it comes to the nation, Jesus is not done with Wales yet. The Great Commission remains outstanding. There is more to be done, more to be reached. And the promise remains that Jesus will build his church and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Over the church in Wales, we can confidently declare that there is immeasurably more